Revolution born in the DeFi space. EMP Fusion, leading the race. From EMP to energy, the cycles turn. Passive income streams, it's what we earn. Sacrifice and stake, let your journey begin. In the heart of Fusion, everyone wins. Daily rewards, no limit in sight. Building wealth in the digital night. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. Decentralized growth for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. EMP empowers, energy thrives. In this ecosystem, our wealth arrives. No more middlemen, no centralized ties. Just smart contracts and community ties. The marketplace beckons, a gamified land. With strategy sharp, we take our stand. One single stake, rewards abound. In Fusion's loop, prosperity is found. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. Decentralized growth for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. Liquidity pools, where dreams are made. With every transaction, the system's paid. Sustainable growth, a vision so clear. Fusion's ecosystem, year after year. Compounding wealth, it's the Fusion way. Earning rewards every single day. From EMP to energy, the cycle flows. A digital empire, watch how it grows. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. A decentralized world for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. The journey's simple, the rewards are vast. In Fusion's loop, wealth grows fast. Sacrifice your EMP, let energy lead. In this ecosystem, you plant the seed. Sustainability, drives the Fusion plan. A financial revolution for every man. With innovation at its very core. Fusion unlocks the future to explore. So join the movement, take your place in the Fusion ecosystem. We embrace a decentralized vision, bold and true. With EMP Fusion, the future's for you. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. A decentralized world for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. Revolution.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP Money. This is our weekday live stream. We come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. I'm joined by my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Hey guys, all is good. All is good. We've been super busy behind the scenes getting everything coordinated, and happy to be here with you guys.
Yeah, 100%, LA. We got a lot to go over, but the short story is the migration has been a massive success, and the old EMP now is discontinued. We'll have an update on what that means. If you missed the migration, obviously, we said till the end of the month. We had to accelerate things a little bit. So now we have a form to submit, and you will still get a one-to-one value. So no worries there, and even extending it a little bit through the form to make up for that timeline. So we'll talk about all that. We were able to recover all of the old LP, minus about probably 30 grand, which is amazing. I mean, this is so bullish, and we'll talk about why it's bullish and why this is kind of the last hurdle that we had before Fusion can really prepare for liftoff, peg recovery, more yield, the whole 9 yards. So, all right, really, I want to just jump right in. We're also on a bit of a time frame tonight. We're unveiling our brand new hero character in Universe Madness. we have an epic premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Universe Madness channel, and then we'll do a follow-up AMA after that. But Edric Vane is going to be uh, unveiled to the world in just a little more, another hour or two, and you guys will see. This is probably one of the most epic character reveals that I've seen in my 20, 30 years of gaming. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But LA, before we get started, we want everybody to like, comment, and subscribe. Right? That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, and retweet if you're on Twitter.
Perfect. Yeah, we are coming to you from Twitter or X. I gotta get out of that habit. I always call it Twitter. But yeah, lots of viewers already tonight, so definitely please spread the word. And all right, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let me open my notes. Give me one sec.
Amazing. Yeah, it's been a busy few days, guys. I'm sure you've seen lots of announcements. If you are tuning in, make sure you've read today's latest announcements, especially if you're someone who hasn't completed the migration yet. And we're going to go through the whole set of updated instructions tonight, right now, during the AMA.
Perfect. Yeah, 100%. So, first of all, thank you to everyone that did pay attention and, as we like to say, invest in their investment, have been with us from the get-go and really engaged. Those are the people that really help this whole process be as smooth as possible. So, again, thanks to everybody that already migrated their EMP and EMP ETH LP over to dexSwap. We already have almost $400,000 of liquidity for EMP ETH on dexSwap. That's incredibly bullish. Again, considering that will be the new home of all the trading for EMP, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Again, the people that did this right away, not only does it really help us, but it also makes it very easy for you because you have credit 1-to-1 already. You're ready to roll and move forward as we all, continue to push Fusion to the next level. So we did have to kind of accelerate our timeline a bit. We were hoping to leave the smart contract open until the end of the month, but it was becoming too much with potential arbitrage issues where people would buy the old EMP and then swap it for the new EMP. And again, it wasn't nearly, I would never call it an exploit, but it just opened us up for some potential, again, arbitrage that would not have been fair to the overall community. So we're just trying to expedite it, and that's what we did. It worked great. Everything that we said we were going to do and set out to do has worked flawlessly. I mean, this was all part of the plan. And again, reducing the liquidity overall. At one point, we had, an ETH obviously is down right now. But, we had nearly $1 million of liquidity in the old EMP. And so not only to be able to recover that and then reduce liquidity will make it very, very promising in terms of peg recovery. So all this has to do with keeping the value in the ecosystem and making things a lot easier moving forward. So, and we'll talk again a little bit more about that in a minute. But the other question was crediting for all the legacy contracts. So detonator, reactor, generator, all those nodes, again, just that is going to happen probably next week. So don't panic or don't open a ticket asking where that is because we haven't even gotten to that yet. So again, EMP, ETH, and LP and liquid EMP will be what we're migrating first. So and yeah, if you have eShare, don't worry about that either. That's it's just you don't have to migrate for eShare. So all right, all in all, LA, what does this mean? You want to kind of recap a little bit over what we're doing, and then we'll open the forum too.
Yes, absolutely. So what does this mean? It does mean that the process for automatically migrating your EMP and EMP ETH positions through dexSwap and the smart contract is now closed. And if you haven't yet migrated your EMP and EMP ETH LP, you'll have to do it through us individually, one by one now. And this does include EMP ETH on Pulse Chain. So just to remind you guys, what you need to do first is if you have EMP ETH LP in the farms on the EMP.Money site or on Pulse Chain, the first step would be to remove them from the farms. If you're over on SparkSwap, you will have to break the LP and bridge the funds over to BSC in order to complete the migration. If you are on BSC, what you'll do is you will withdraw from the farm on our EMP.Money site, and then you will simply fill out the form that we have linked in all of the pinned announcements. And that form gives you a wallet address for the Treasury. You'll send in your liquid EMP or your EMP ETH LP, and we will credit you EMP 2.0 for that. So we've had a lot of questions about, do I have to do anything with eShare? Is it time to do something with my detonator, reactor, generator, nodes, sentinels, defenders? None of that is time for right now. The only thing we're dealing with in this form is EMP and EMP ETH LP. So I'll go ahead and put the link to the form in the chat here, but it's also linked in all of our announcement sections on all of our groups. And I also sent out an email earlier. So make sure to get all the important information there.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'm actually going to go over it too really quick on stream. Give me a second. Let me open it.
And all that we ask is you please make things as easy as possible for us. Please read the instructions thoroughly. I already had people earlier writing in the group questions that were answered right in the form. So I know that it's like a little blurb there. Please read it very carefully because all the information you need will be there, and all the important stuff is even bolded for you. And then when you're answering the questions, please answer them exactly as they are asked. No more, no less. It'll just make the process a lot more streamlined, easy, and it'll make it so that you get credited quicker if we're not having to sift through things and figuring out what you're writing or if there's incomplete information.
Perfect. Yeah, 100%. And again, we did take a snapshot that we will also be confirming, especially with the LP, because, after we remove liquidity from the original EMP, it will throw off the ratios of the ETH to EMP LP on old EMP, but we have a snapshot of all this to confirm. So you still need to send your EMP LP. That's how we can confirm you're the owner of that wallet and are eligible for credit. But just understand that buying EMP now is obsolete. So don't think that you can buy it now and get credit. Everything after February 13th today at about 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, we have the exact block time that it happened. Will not be eligible. And again, it doesn't hurt anybody if you didn't buy or sell. During this, you get a full one-to-one credit. So again, the chart looks a little bit like a rug just because we had to pull the liquidity, but it's the farthest from that because you're getting a one-to-one value on your EMP LP and on your liquid EMP. So, and if you're in Fusion already, there's literally nothing you have to do. So, and honestly, there's very few people still that probably haven't migrated. So, all in all, we're really confident with this move and it's better for everybody. So, yeah. And like Ellie said, just go through, make sure, again, you're sending to the Treasury wallet address. You fill out the form as intended. And that's really it. It's super straightforward. Please let us, again, give us about 14 days to complete the crediting once you've sent. So, hopefully it'll only be a couple of days, but we don't want to be inundated with people saying, "Where's my credit?" So we're asking for at least 14 days, but everything is on chain and everything is verifiable. So we'll just send it right back. You unfortunately cannot request to send to a new wallet address just because we don't want people to be scammed or hackers to be able to get EMP out of it. So it will have to be the wallet that you send your EMP from. So, all right, I think that was all the loose ends with the form. Anything else you want to go over real quick, Ellie, with the form? Oh, LA, you're muted. Did we lose her? Oh, we lost her. Hang on, let me add her back. Hey, there she is. Sorry, LA. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my browser just unexpectedly closed. I had to restart the stream. So there is one more thing I wanted to go over. Obviously, there's probably nobody on this stream right now, but I just want to come out and say it. Obviously, there's probably going to be some people trying to do some sneaky stuff and purchase EMP, the old EMP now, and then fill out this form, because the same thing happened when we did the eShare migration. We will be checking into every single person and every single line that gets submitted on that form, and any EMP that was purchased after we moved the liquidity over earlier today will not be credited. So don't send it, because we're going to be busy and we may take weeks to send it back if that's the case, because we're going to be working on crediting everyone who actually legitimately deserve to be credited. So
For
please
sure.
don't go buying EMP now and trying to submit the form to pull any sneaky moves. I know no one on this stream is going to do that, but just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no, I love it, LA. And again, we're not here to screw anybody. Again, this is a vital step in recovering the LP. And as long as you had EMP and didn't try to do sneaky stuff by buying, after the dip and then saying that you bought it before, again, everything is time stamped. Everything on the blockchain is verifiable. So it makes sure that we give credit to the right people. And I'm going to pull up the chart really quick, too. So this is the old EMP. So again, please do not transact in this. It is a dead token. Uh, do with it as you will at your own risk. And as you can see, even though we did pull the liquidity, there are still a lot of volume trading bots on this, some malicious actors, and this just reinforces why we needed to make this move. Again, even with almost 75K of liquidity still, after we removed everything we could, and that's just from PancakeSwap, uh, uh, basically getting all the fees that we will now be getting as dexSwap. So again, no more buying and selling on EMP. Old EMP, do so at your own risk. And this is the new EMP. So not only do we get better liquidity, better MEV bot protection, MEV or sandwich bots, all the dexSwap volume is protected by sandwich bots. All the fees that we get from trading will go to further rewards in Fusion. We get a nice chart reset as well, which again is just another fringe benefit. Even with ETH going down, we've been holding steadily, which means PEG is actually recovering. So things are looking really bullish. Again, there's a brand new contract address for this EMP. You can find that in all of our pins. It is the new advanced listing. This will be updated hopefully within another week or so. It says unknown DEX, but this will show up as dexSwap. Again, it just takes more volume. And we actually put out a post in Telegram. If you want to help us, you can join Discord and upvote the listing for dexSwap. So that would also be really helpful. And then it'll populate here, and we're off to the races. Once this happens and we have dexSwap as without this warning of an unknown DEX, we'll have a lot more marketing. We'll do some sponsored, dex screener ads. We have a lot of cool stuff in the works, not only to promote EMP and eShare, but also, all the dexSwap tokens, GG and everything else. So we're making it happen. Again, I know it's been a bit of a headache, a lot of information coming fast to all of you, but this is definitely the last hurdle that we needed to do in order to really move forward in terms of peg recovery, higher yields. There's literally zero downside to all this, and it's something we've been saying we were going to do for a very long time, and now we're here. So I'm super bullish and super excited. and honestly, it went pretty flawlessly. We were hoping that every single person would migrate, but we still have the form open to let you do that over time. Again, please, even though it's open for another month, please add some urgency to it. The sooner the better, just because we don't want to be doing transactions for the next year, crediting people. But yeah, just please rely on that form from here on out. So, all right, LA, anything you want to add about that?
Yeah, just to reiterate what you just said, don't leave it to the last minute, because while a good majority of people got it done the first 3 times that we posted about it, it was clear yesterday and today that there's a lot of you who still haven't. And so don't wait a month to do it. We'd love to get you all settled as soon as possible.
Perfect. Yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to help. There is no EMP airdrop. There is no, connect to this website to get credit. So please just remember that as well. That there are scammers everywhere, and they always try to get your crypto. So just be smart about it. The only thing you need to do is that Google form, and everything else will happen automatically based on the on-chain data.
Yes. And so there's a couple things I wanted to go through about Fusion as well. Over the last 2 days, the developers have been doing some back-end work in order to get deposits available inside Fusion again. They are still working on things for another day or so. And so there's some things within Fusion that might not be 100% perfectly right now. Like, for example, you may be having I know a couple users reported having like a battery missing, stuff like that. Any of the kinks that are coming along with the migration will get worked out in the next couple days. So don't worry if you see anything out of the ordinary. Remember that if you are opening a ticket, it doesn't serve us if you don't give us your wallet address, screenshots, any like deep details. So if you want to save time and get things dealt with as quickly as possible, always please leave as much information inside a ticket as possible. Another thing, don't pay attention to the peg right now while we are moving the liquidity over from the old EMP token to the new one. That's affected the way that the peg's being displayed, but that's not what our peg is at. So just ignore it for the next couple days while we get all of the little kinks set up and fixed.
Yeah, great points, LA. So just to reiterate all that, Grover and John are doing their best to update Fusion Watch. Fusion Watch is probably the most up-to-date information until we can get a handle on the new price feeds and opening deposits into Fusion again. So just make sure that you're looking at that. Like LA said, don't panic. The peg looks a lot worse than it is because we need to update the price feed of the new EMP on the old EMP site. Again, it's just there's so many moving parts with this, and it just reiterates the fact of why we're doing this, so that we don't have to manage 10 different websites and 100 different old contracts nobody uses. So this is all part of streamlining it, and yes, it could be a little frustrating and confusing for the next 72 hours or so, but after this migration, another week and we are home free and never have to do this ever again. Everybody gets credit. All the legacy contracts go away, and now we're 100% focused on Fusion, and everybody's happy. So we're almost there. And yeah, I again, the devs are working as fast as they can to do all that. It's just a lot of moving parts at the moment. So um, yeah. All right. That was great, LA. What about, I guess we could go into a little bit about Detonator and all legacy contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
So every time we go into this, we have people asking us, what about this one? What about that one? So I just want to list them all out. If you have any questions about Detonator, Reactor, Generator, Nodes, Sentinels, or Defenders, that migration is up next. And when it's time, we'll have a detailed announcement with absolutely all the details, all the instructions, everything you need. Just again, to reiterate what we said earlier, that is completely separate from the form that you're filling out now for EMP and EMP ETH LP.
Yeah, 100%. And we will have an entire process around this. We're working on two separate options right now, so I don't have an exact process to share. But the short story is we have a very generous formula that is giving credit for all those users in those legacy contracts into Fusion. And if you hate EMP and you think you got screwed in those old contracts, then it's not a sunk cost, meaning you can just list your sacrifice points for sale and move on and at least get credit out of it. So that's extremely bullish. We're doing it because we want to, not because we have to. And I think that it'll make a lot of people feel as if we did do the right thing, and then maybe they're excited for what Fusion has to hold in the future. And we're doing this in a way too to mitigate the dilution as much as possible. I know a lot of you have positions in those legacy contracts anyway, so your dilution will be less because you're getting credit. But if somebody is new to EMP and didn't have those positions, we don't want to dilute their share too much either. And so remember that this migration for legacy contracts will be the final dilution event. And so you may see your ownership go down a little bit, but after that, it can only go up because, again, we're buying sacrifice points as a protocol and burning them. So that is a bit of silver lining. If you do get diluted a little bit, just know that there's no other way to dilute you further because all the EMP is accounted for and the migration of legacy contracts will be over. And then little by little, even if you never add to your Fusion position again, you actually increase ownership because we will be buying it. Now, the only variable to that is there has to be sacrifice points willing to be sold. There may be a situation where yield is so good and nobody wants to sell their sacrifice points. In that case, we can't buy something that isn't listed. But in that scenario, maybe microgrids are going for a premium, even above sacrifice value. So all that is really exciting and part of our game theory, moving into the future. But again, this is all part of the short term craziness and volatility to set us up for the long term success. So really excited about that. We'll share all the formulas. Again, detonator reactor, generator, all those will be credited based on claim compound. And then nodes are a little different because it was EMP in and EMP out. So nodes get a little bit of a bonus because it's actual EMP. And Sentinel, Defender, all the NFTs will be credited at a dollar value, a half of what you bought them for. And I saw some comments that people thought half was too low. We've looked at the on-chain data, and they said they weren't able to claim half of the profit, and that is not the case. I mean, we've gone through bit by bit, and almost everybody has been able to claim way more than half the value of what they bought those NFTs for. So again, it's not something that we have to do. It's something that we want to do just to make everybody at least somewhat whole, and then move on and never have to worry about the drama and the backlash of a game. I mean, all of those were pretty much they're not annuities, they're not certificates of deposit. It's all part of the old way EMP worked. Inflationary mechanisms. I mean, so different than where we are right now. So, all right. Does that help update on that, LA? Oh, the timeline. We're hoping again 1 more week. All the math and all the snapshots of each individual user. There was like 4,000 holders inside Detonator over the lifespan. So it's a lot of data that we have to go through. But all that's been put into a spreadsheet. We have a new formula. Shout out to Bright Outlook. He really helped come up with something fair and the devs are just working on the process of what that will look like. You probably will have to sign a transaction. Again, just like you would anywhere else, to prove that you are still here and you own that wallet address, and then we're able to credit you the sacrifice points that way. So again, I'll have a full breakdown of what you need to do, but that is the plan so far. Cool.
Love it. Awesome.
All right, killer. So, LA, do you want to go over liquidity providing a little bit while I pull up this screen share again?
Yeah. And so AJ is going to walk us through how to do it, but I'll give kind of a background on what we're going to do. So there is an amazing opportunity to earn a yield from providing liquidity on dexSwap. So one great thing about this migration over to BNB Chain and being on dexSwap now is that you can earn inside Fusion, and you can also earn on dexSwap by providing liquidity. So you can provide liquidity for EMP ETH LP or eShare BNB on dexSwap, and you'll earn rewards from the platform fees. And so AJ is going to walk you through how to actually do this.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're on dexSwap, this is our new V3, V4 concentrated liquidity DEX. Again, we'll be adding more and more pairs. We'll also be opening up routing shortly. We added a bunch more liquidity to some of our stable pairs. Again, we're looking at almost $500,000 of liquidity already on our TVL, which is amazing because this is all soft launch. I mean, we're just like working beta still, really, because we haven't even begun to promote this. But that being said, yes, if you have liquid EMP, maybe you already have a lot of exposure in Fusion, or maybe you want to earn more EMP ETH to then put into Fusion, providing liquidity for EMP ETH LP and eShare BNB LP can be lucrative. So again, based on the volume, you get an average, you get a part of the fees. And so again, just as an example, you would click here, you would go to create position, and I'll show you an even easier way here in a minute. You would go to set your range. So again, this is concentrated liquidity. So if you wanted to provide liquidity in a very narrow range, you would get a lot more fees because your LP is being put to work in a smaller range. But just remember, the tighter your range, the more potential and permanent loss you might have. And, you're actually selling your EMP. So if you did want to sacrifice, you would be selling your EMP at a much lower price as we continue to pump. So just be very mindful of that. If you're not very aware, we suggest a full range. That's just like providing LP on PancakeSwap, V2. So full is good. And then even easier, if all that is overwhelming to you, you can go to Dex Vaults. All right, and then we have an EMP ETH AILM. So this is great if you don't know how to create liquidity. You can just zap in. If you have BNB, it'll actually buy EMP ETH LP for you, or you can create the LP and then deposit it in with this here. So you create your NFT and then you can just deposit the asset. So the AILM is cool because it will rebalance as we continue going up and to the right, the optimal range that you might need. But yeah, $30,000 in this alone already. So and again, Grover is the vault master, so you can definitely get with him. We'll have him on a future AMA to go over this, and we're adding eShare to the vaults too, as well as an ETF that will actually put buying pressure on eShare and EMP. So if you are providing liquidity, it could potentially actually help us recover PEG as well, because some of the fees will go to buying and compounding EMP, eShare, and ETH through your own ETF. So there's a lot of really cool strategies. Again, let's get through the migration and getting everybody inside of Fusion first, and then the end of the month or so, we'll go over some of these advanced strategies that not only will be really beneficial for you, but also for the protocol. So we're super excited for that. Again, just one more notch in our belt in terms of peg recovery that will add constant buying pressure on EMP and eShare moving forward. So it's all coming together, and that again is a reason that we are doing this migration so that we can have our EMP through our own DEX and on the vaults. So this is all part of the master plan, and we're getting there bit by bit.
It's all coming together.
It really is. It's awesome.
Amazing.
All right. Anything else with that? Did I go over it enough, LA? Again, I know
Yeah.
a lot of people are a little overwhelmed. So if you don't know about liquidity providing or vaults, just hang tight for another week or two, and we'll do some dedicated coverage on that too.
Yeah, and Grover reminds us that you can also provide liquidity on primary pairs. So any of these pools here, you can provide liquidity on.
Yeah, great point. Again, we added some POL on these, but yeah, ETH BNB, USD BNB, all these farms or all these LPs will be added to the farm as well. And yeah, just so you know too, if you are going to trade, this should be updated within the next 24 hours or so, just because we had to let the liquidity build up a little more. But if you're having any trouble trading or you're getting a big price impact, just make sure you're trading the asset to asset in the LP. So in other words, with EMP ETH, it's EMP and ETH. So you would go here and you would select ETH and EMP. Let me scroll down. So it just has to be the exact pairs for now until, again, hopefully within the next 24 hours, it'll be updated. But this, so that pairing right there will be the least amount of slippage when you're trading. So, and remember, all future trading for EMP and eShare, and eventually GDEX and all of our other protocol tokens, do your trading through dexSwap. Not only is it the more liquidity, but all the fees stay in the ecosystem, and it's better for everybody. So no more pancake swap, no more Uniswap, none of those. So,
yeah, it's so exciting that a portion of all the fees from every swap is going to go to Fusion. So
for sure.
that's really great instead of pancake swaps pockets.
Yep, 100%.
Amazing. Well, I have some exciting news to share with everyone. A little bit of a tease, so I apologize, but I should be able to give you more details on next week's AMA. We aren't going to give any details specifically away today, but starting in the next week or two, we're going to be launching a huge event, like huge mega event. This event will bring a lot of eyeballs to Fusion, and it will also be an amazing opportunity for all of you to earn if you decide to be involved. It also has the potential to really accelerate our timeline with getting back to PEG. So watch out for details on that. I'm going to be working with AJ over the next week or so to finalize all the details about it so we can get it launched. But this is going to be such an exciting few weeks once we get it out there. So watch out for that.
Yeah, no doubt. LA gave me a little bit of a teaser. I'm letting her take the take the reins, but yeah, it sounds really cool, and I love LA is always so creative with our community initiatives. So yeah, I think all of you are gonna be excited for that. And even Fusion Watch, we're working on even more incentives. Again, remember the weekly and monthly challenges will be coming back as soon as we are accepting the new EMP for deposits in Fusion. You get mega bonuses on weekly and monthly deposits for both the largest deposit and the largest growth of your position. We're again there's a bunch of alpha here, Dan. We're also maybe implementing more badges. I know a lot of you love the badges. Uh, I won't say any more about that, but Grover and I and John have been working on some cool commemorative things as well. And yeah, I mean, this is all again coming together. That's a theme today. Once we've done everything, laid the groundwork, recovered the LP, moved to the new EMP token. Now we can really, add fuel to the fire in promotions and initiatives and really getting the ball rolling on speeding up peg recovery, getting the momentum back. And we already have. I mean, again, Fusion itself has been amazing in terms of the economics of peg recovery. And, all of this is icing on the cake at this point. So I'm extremely excited for what the future holds.
Me too.
Awesome. All right. I know we're on a bit of a time frame tonight, LA, but do we have a few questions
We
we
do.
want to answer before we leave? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, any idea how much longer for SparkSwap migration?
Yeah, so let me update on that. We had I had an AMA earlier this week about SparkSwap in one of our private groups, and yeah, we're on track. I mean, again, I know everybody wants it to happen tomorrow, but the tentative timeline, again, just so everybody's aware, is we tie up all the fusion loose ends within the next 24 48 hours. Then next week we will implement the detonator, all the legacy contract migrations. Then by the end of the month, we will hopefully have base integration. Again, base is only coming first because GDEX is on base right now, and we need to support GIA and GDEX. And then shortly, very shortly after, will be SparkSwap. The reason SparkSwap is after base is, again, there's just a little more moving parts. We don't even have a DEX token yet, so we need to finalize the tokenomics and crediting system for CETO and Spark, the 404s, and Sparkler and our other 404s. So all of that needs to get accounted for, but I think a very realistic time frame is the middle of next month. So about one more month, and we should finally be able to integrate everything. And it's bullish because not only is Pulse starting to recover, but by having Base integrated before Pulse Chain, now we're able to actually bridge from Base too. So now we have BNB, Arbitrum, and Base as part of our bridge to Pulse. So all that is part of the big plan. Again, everything's coming together. We're moving as fast as we can, but it will be at least probably another month for SparkSwap.
All right. Next question. How does the new EMP accelerate PEG?
Yeah, absolutely. So the LP that we were able to recover from the old EMP can now be put to work, and that means adding to our treasury or adding to liquidity strategically. Again, we're purposely not adding a lot of the new liquidity now because when you have low liquidity, it's a lot easier to recover peg or pump the price. So and that doesn't necessarily mean that we are pumping the price as a protocol, but it means all the buying pressure from all of you has a much bigger impact. Again, this is something we've talked about for the last year. You actually see it happening right now on Pulse Chain with Richard Hart. He has purposely pulled all the LP rewards on Pulse X to thin the liquidity so that he could potentially pump Pulse as well. So it's a very advanced strategy that a lot of founders do, but it's ultimately very healthy for the protocol. And again, that LP doesn't go anywhere. Once we are back at peg, then we can add back LP at a higher price. So again, it's not about extracting value; it's about actually keeping value in the ecosystem. And again, all the LP can then be put to work through our treasury and that is just real yield that feeds peg recovery and then ultimately fusion rewards. Again, I know everybody wants both. You want peg recovery and higher fusion rewards, and so by doing this, that's all that matters. And then last but not least, again, we've really weeded out a lot of the both dead LP and EMP that just no longer exists. I mean, even with Bitcoin, I'd say probably at a bare minimum, 10% of the entire Bitcoin supply is gone. It's in a landfill, or somebody that died or got hacked, or whatever the case may be. And now we're able to then recover that through a new EMP token. I don't think Bitcoin's going to release a new Bitcoin fork, but we're small enough that we can do that. And now all those dead tokens and all that dead LP is transferring value to all of you that are still here and part of the ecosystem. So that is extremely bullish, and honestly, it's going to accelerate supply shock because there's probably only about 7 million EMP left, and that number is even smaller now because of the migration. Ultimately, there are people that aren't going to convert, whether they again were hacked or uh, left crypto altogether. And so again, it's really bullish, and we're not screwing them either, because if they did come back in a year and say, "Hey, what happened?" then we have the snapshot, we have everything that we need to potentially give them credit if we choose to do that. So it's just a win-win for everybody. I don't know if that answers it, LA. If there's anything else you want to add.
No, you answered it perfectly.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, next, I have SparkSwap on a wallet address that does not have a Fusion account. Will I need to add some EMP to create one on that wallet, or will the migration from SparkSwap create one on that wallet?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Again, I don't want to, what I say is subject to change, but it should be the same process as the legacy contracts. So the short answer is you do not need a fusion position. And honestly, you're getting credit in the DEX token, not necessarily Fusion. So I don't know if you mean actual EMP that you didn't migrate. Again, LA touched on that earlier. If you have EMP on Pulse, you need to bridge it back over and submit the form to get credit. But if you're just talking about Sparkler and Spark token, you don't get exposure to Fusion. You get a new token that we're releasing that represents all dexSwap as a whole, and that token is non-inflationary. It'll have a max supply. Uh, some of the fees from dexSwap will go to feed that token, so it's basically a better version of what Spark was supposed to be, and without the inflation, which again is something we've said all along. We were only intending Spark to inflate for about the first year, which is where we're at now, and now we're making good on that as well. So, yeah, again, sorry if that didn't answer.
No, you got it. Next question. If you have a position in nodes but haven't yet created a Fusion position, what can you do to benefit from the compensation package?
Yeah, I love it. Perfect. Great questions tonight. The short answer is nothing. If you were in nodes and you didn't go into Fusion, obviously we always suggest that you should do that, but it isn't a requirement anymore. We thought just based on the smart contract code that in order to credit you, you had to have a position, even if it was like $1 or whatever, just to activate your NFT. But I think that we're able to now just automatically mint those NFTs based on the crediting amount into Fusion. And again, if that changes, then we'll update everybody. But that is the plan.
Yeah, and when it's time, we will have a long pinned announcement with everything you need. Okay, one last one on Discord. Can we have the EMP Treasury buy EMP at weekly or monthly intervals to help speed up peg recovery? This should build the Treasury's position to have a bigger share / yield to then pay out all the microgrids.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly what we do. So yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, again, through the yield, we don't necessarily spend our principal from the treasury because that would, eventually have us go broke if we're spending more than we take in. But the yield is absolutely doing that as we speak. And some days it's more and some days it's less. If we have a lot of organic buying pressure and recovery, then the treasury doesn't have to supplement that, and we're able to build our coffers. So yeah, exactly what you just outlined is exactly what's happening behind the scenes. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's a, like I've said many times, it's a multi-step process where, you know right now we're focused on peg recovery, but then that same mechanism, rather than buying EMP, will then go to just give more rewards in Fusion, and that's how the APR and APY is able to be increased. And again, I know there's a lot of wallet watchers and on-chain data. We have our treasury spread out on many wallets for safety reasons. Just because you don't see the treasury address buying EMP every day doesn't mean that it isn't happening some way or another. So yeah, it's all part of the plan. And honestly, it's been super beneficial that we have had the organic recovery, and that just means that once we do recover pay, we have even more ammo to throw into Fusion for rewards, rather than spending too much on providing exit liquidity for people that are just swing trading EMP. So we're again, we have 10 different guys, the biggest brains in crypto, on what mathematically is the best situation to do this. We're playing 4D chess for sure.
Okay, one last question from Joe, and he's referring to farm positions that are not EMP ETH LP. How will those farm positions be transferred to dexSwap? Do they need to take their LPs out of the farms? What is the process there?
Yeah, great question, Joe. So, shout out to Joe. I don't know, he's maybe on his next cruise. But yeah, brother, the short answer is I would just leave the positions there now, so you can continue to farm. Again, all the spark that you're earning, um, could then be added to that conversion when we do convert. So there's no reason to just liquidate and move unless obviously you would like to do that to speculate on something else. But the short answer is when the migration happens, it'll be very similar to how we did the EMP migration. It'll be a smart contract where it will just transfer, it'll unpair your LP, bridge it over, or in this case, stay on Pulse, and then repair the LP under dexSwap. So, yeah, the short answer is if you have something else to do with that LP for now, you can move it. And utilize it. But if not, you can just continue to earn for the next month until we do the migration.
Awesome. I think that is all of our questions for tonight.
Cool, that was easy. We went through a lot. Again, I know a lot of trolls may see the chart and say, "Oh, EMP rug," so just be prepared for that. We wanted to do it right before an AMA so that we can be as transparent and open and honest as we can be. Educate everybody that if they did have a position in EMP, they get a one-to-one copy of the new EMP. They just need to fill out the form and everything is good to go. So this is a whole new era for us. This was the last hurdle that we really needed to jump over, and now we can prepare uh, for liftoff. This is the final warning. So and again, we've been moving that way anyway. Even though ETH took a bit of a nosedive, we're still super bullish on ETH overall. All the fundamentals haven't changed. And over the next few months, I think we will see a dramatically different picture with peg and yield and everything that we're building on top of. So cool.
Yes. So just a reminder, don't pay attention to the peg over the next 24 hours or so while we get that fixed out. And we are still working out some of the kinks on Fusion. If you guys can help us, I mean, we can't be online 24 hours a day. We do sleep occasionally. If you can help us kind of mitigate any FUD from anyone that doesn't pay attention to announcements, that would be really helpful. For this last question that just popped up, we've gone over it not only in the announcements today, but about 2 times already on the AMA. So we'll invite you to go back and listen to the replay to have the answer to your question about nodes.
Yep, exactly. And again, if there are further questions, we come to you every Thursday. So just make sure you join Discord and ask them in the questions channel, or you're here for the live stream and you can ask live one-on-one. So yeah, everybody, appreciate all of you. I mean, this is it. We're making it happen. All the infrastructure is there. We'll have a bunch of updates too about Gia and Vaults. We have a ton going on there. I mean, we get accused of spreading ourselves too thin, but there is so much development happening behind the scenes right now, and that is all that means is more real yield and more revenue for GDEX, Fusion, EMP, and eShare. So definitely get exposure to all those if you believe in us and what we're building and what we're doing. Gia is going to be incredible. Again, that's just another bit of alpha. Look at some of our old AMAs over the last 2 weeks of the Gia announcement. That's our AI agent and Swarm Builder. That will be a game changer too. The beta is almost ready for that, and that will be so cool because we'll be able to utilize Gia as a personal assistant. Not to replace LA by any means, but to help us grow and everything from knowing what vaults to go into, knowing the optimal fusion strategies, tweeting about all of our protocols automatically. I mean, it's going to be epic. So the momentum is almost here, and all of you that have stuck with us and really believed in what we're doing are going to see the fruits of our labor really, really soon. So uh,
Yes.
awesome. Yeah. All right, that's it. Yeah, Elliot, any
Just a
final words? Yeah, go ahead.
reminder, in 15 minutes, we're doing a big premiere over on the Honor versus Madness YouTube account. We're premiering a brand new character. So we'd love for all of you to join us for the live premiere over there. And as usual, thank you so much for all of your amazing questions and participation and the love you've just sent out to me in the comments. Thank you. But we always appreciate having you guys here. We love you. And AJ, before we go, can you remind them of what we'd like their help with when it comes to the DEX?
Yeah, 100%. So again, make sure that you are, submitting the form. Make sure that you mitigate any potential FUD coming in, and yeah, start using the DEX for all swaps. If you're buying EMP, that was another question about will the liquidity move to the DEX? Some of it yes, and some of it we're just putting it to work. There's already like almost 400K of liquidity, and we're purposely keeping that a little bit lower so that we can pump peg and recover peg easier. Then we can add liquidity when we are at a higher price, which just reinforces the peg value. So, LA, was that it? What is it specifically with the DEX? Sorry.
There
Yeah.
was something you wanted people to vote on to help the DEX.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Ella. Yes, absolutely. So, yes, that is really, really important. We did a pinned post in Telegram and on Discord. But if you join the Dex Screener Discord, they have a channel for new dexes. If all of you could please go uh, like and comment on that thread, that would help us fast track the integration for DexSwap. So again, that's really, really important. And then we will show up as an actual DEX on DEX Screener and all the indexing sites. LA submitted a bunch of paperwork today for CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. Again, we've been nonstop. So, and yes, LA will always be greater than GF for sure. So, yeah. All right, awesome. Anything else, LA? Was that it?
I don't know. I think G is gonna be my new bestie. So
Yeah, man, girl power. You guys are gonna kill it. Two queens of crypto, promoting all of our projects. I love the sound of that for
yeah,
sure.
love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming tonight, and please join us for the premiere and then the Honor versus Madness AMA.
All right, awesome. And yeah, I just realized my banner was wrong the whole time. So one more shout out. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That is really important to help the algorithm, help us get the word out. Yes, we have an epic reveal coming up. Make sure you're following Honor vs. Madness as well. We're about 13 minutes away from our brand new character reveal. And yes, we come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Thanks to all of you. Good night. Good day. We'll see you next week.